morning, Quadcopter 101 here, and we are back again in beautiful Indian Wells Canyon. This is a jewel of the area. I really love Indian Wells Canyon, if you guys haven't figured that out by now. I've been here many, many times and explored just about every nook and cranny up here. Fantastic place to come visit. But what I'm doing today is, I got the UPair 1 with me again today. My brother and I will be going cross country here this summer, and I will be taking a quadcopter with me. Now, I'm trying to decide which quadcopter to take with me, and I've narrowed the choices down to two. That is the UPair 1, which is pretty cool with its ability to fly FPV, along with have an on-screen display, along with having a 2-axis stabilized gimbal. And my other option is the much lighter, much more compact Hubsan H501S. But that does not have a gimbal, and its on-screen display is pretty, well, it works with the controller, but if you use it with, I forgot to mention, I'm also taking with me these EV800 goggles. These are pretty darn good goggles, I gotta admit, folks, or at least for me, for my purposes, flying FPV Explorer quadcopters. But the unfortunate thing is, if you use these with the Hubsan H501S, you lose a lot of the on-screen display information. That on-screen display information is still, though, available with the UPair 1. So, you know, that's another check in the block for the UPair 1. But again, the UPair 1 is much bigger, much heavier to lug along with you, and that's my one concern. So I'm not sure which one yet that I am going to take with me. But I'm going to fly both of them here today in Indian Wells Canyon and see how they perform. We're going to start off again with the UPair 1. I'm going to do some long-range FPV exploring with goggles. My wife is here with me today, so she's going to keep an eye on the quadcopter in case the goggles go out on me, so she can point out the quadcopter's over there, so I can bring it in manually. But another option is I could just hit the return to home button. I don't like to do that, though, folks. That's just, if I can avoid that, that's my last resort, hit and return to home. So I hope you enjoyed this flight of the UPair 1 here in Indian Wells Canyon. We have a little bit of a breeze today. It's about 5 knots blowing upwind or up the canyon. But that shouldn't be any problem at all for either of the quadcopters that plan to fly today. So I hope you enjoy this flight. Okay, the quadcopter is set up. We have 16 satellites. Looking at my screen here, we are good to go. I am going to take off in position hold mode and make sure this switch is in normal. And I'm starting the recording now, hitting the record button, and we do have recording. And starting the quadcopter, down and out, and set it up a little bit higher, going up a little bit higher. Now, before I go on a flight, I am going to rotate it one time with yaw. Actually, a couple times. The reason I'm doing this, give it a little more height. According to UPair, this supposedly helps with calibrating the compass. Now notice it goes up and down because we got wind coming up here. This uses altitude hold barometer for altitude hold, which isn't the best in the world regarding altitude hold. So keep that in mind, folks. I'm going to keep some distance from the ground as I'm flying. So I'm going to set it up a little bit higher and position it right about there. Now I'm going to put the hat onto my wife. She's going to be my observer for today. Hold on, folks, while I do that. I'll let that hover there. Point at the quadcopter. We see it's hovering very nicely right now. Okay, and turning on my EV800 goggles. Taking off my shades. Putting on my goggles. Checking out the view. Looks good. Let's go up the canyon a bit. Pushing forward. Here we go. And I'm lowering my view a little bit because I want to see the view. We're going down to the road first, and then I hang it right at the road because I know this area best by the roads. I'm going to come down a little lower too. Hey, hon, let me know when I'm getting close to the wooden guardrails here. Just want to get a little bit closer to this. Okay. Coming down a little bit lower. Range is 118 meters right now. I got to remember to keep my head up. By the way, folks, let me check my antenna. Is it pointed straight up? You got to keep the sides of the antenna pointed toward the quadcopter, not the tip. Okay, going forward. And you tilt your head every once in a while if the view gets a little bit fuzzy.
Is it low, hon? Low.
I'm getting low?
Yeah.
Okay, my wife's making sure that she can keep visual on it. Okay, I'm going to go a little bit lower. Don't let me go below the hillside, though. Going forward. Now, over there, it gets a little bit... the hill is going uphill here. Okay, we are 300 meters out. My wife, you can still see it, right? It's getting a little bit hard to see.
Yeah.
Okay, at this point, I am going to turn a little bit up higher, give it a little more altitude, because my goggles are getting a little bit fuzzy too. Tilting my head to improve the reception. Pointing to, okay, I'm pointing back toward us. I'm going to bring it back toward us then. My wife's having a hard time seeing it out there at 300 meters. So I'll bring it back toward us. We'll come back up the road. I know we're coming back toward us. It's pretty neat. FPV exploring with the UPair 1. Oh, it's getting high. Coming down here. I see I'm at 33 meters. Coming back down. Pitching forward again. Yeah, the one thing about the UPair 1, it uses a barometer for altitude hold, and when you start pitching into the wind and going high speed into the wind, it has a hard time with that wind. I seem to notice. Okay, I'm going down the road this time. I got 11.33 volts, plenty of voltage. There's a car approaching, so I'm going to come back over us. I see the car. I don't want to fly over him. Only 94 meters out. Flying toward us now. Pitching forward. There we are down there. Yep. There goes the car. .16 volts, still good. Boy, I never noticed that there's this drop off here before. Holy moly. At the edge of this hill, I never noticed that because I never hiked over this spot. But that's pretty impressive down there. You should see this under it. Well, you could see this if I brought another pair of goggles. Okay, turn it around, 151 meters. Let me go over that one more time. That's pretty neat. Actually, let's come down a little lower and see it a little bit lower. Look at that. I never noticed this rock formation before. I said I explored every part of this canyon. Well, I didn't explore that part yet. That's pretty neat. Wow. That is 5 fingers off in the distance there, folks. Pretty neat rock formation in itself. .0 volts or 0.6 volts, still good. When it gets down in the 10 point something or other range, I'm going to think about bringing it in. Okay, that car went away. Let's go across the street. Now these goggles are working very well with this. Showing up nicely. Remember, you got to keep your head, like I said, straight up and down. If you tilt your head down, that changes the antenna position. You don't want to do that. You want to keep the antenna pointed sideways at the quadcopter. And I can hear the quadcopter in the distance. And if... yeah, I'm pushing forward now. If I had a planar antenna, you know, a flat panel antenna, I could easily keep that antenna pointed by just listening and pointing my head in the direction of the quadcopter. And we come over yet again. There is some wind up there. Okay, we're down in the 10.98 range. I'm going to bring it in now. Reducing throttle. And I'll put it near overhead. Right about there. Let's plop it there. And taking the goggles off and turning them off because I want to save the power for the follow-on flight here. Using my Hubsan. And taking the head back from my wife. Who's watching it up in the sky. Put my glasses back on so I can see it better. My shade glasses. Okay, we are good there. And bringing it back down for a landing. I'm looking in the FPV window at the same time as I'm bringing it in. Yeah, it's landed over here, away from the car. And I'm going to raise the camera up. I don't want it to hit the ground. And remember, folks, when you land it, always to stop the motors, you got to pull the sticks down, or pull the throttle stick down. Wait a minute. And throttle stick down until it stops. That's how you stop the motors on this. And turning off the camera. Camera is off. Okay, now I forgot to mention, I noticed some people were discussing that they were having problems with the camera on this, recording short videos. I don't know what to tell you folks other than I'm using FAT32 format on my Class 10 card. It's a Class 10 card. It's only an 8 gigabyte card actually, but FAT32. Also, I am recording in 1080p, 30 frames per second, not 60 frames or 2K or 4K, although this camera is capable of that. The only reason I'm doing that is because I upload these videos to YouTube, and uploading at those higher frame rates or higher data streams would just take days for me. So, I don't know, folks. On RC groups, they're discussing it there. Somebody will probably come up with a fix for that, but right now I don't know what to tell you folks, so sorry about that. So hope you enjoyed this flight. I got to go into the 501S next, and we'll see how that one performs. Hope you enjoyed it. Quadcopter 101 signing out.